This is Caleb and Sophia. If you're unfamiliar, it's Jehovah's Witness propaganda for children. I don't know how many episodes are up to now, maybe 50 episodes or something like that. Some of them are really short, couple minutes long. Others are like really long, like 15 minutes. I have a compilation here of 3 of them that I wanted to talk about. There's Lying is Wrong, Be Neat and Clean, and Anti-Technology. That's how I labeled them. Should give you an idea of what they're about. I went through all of these at some point in my channel history, but it's been years. So I want to go back through with fresh eyes and see what we've got going on, because they're releasing new episodes as we speak. So let's take a look at this anti-technology, anti-lying, and be neat and clean episode and see what they have to say. Lesson 20, be truthful. Uh-oh.
What happened?
Nothing.
Caleb, do you know why Jehovah wants us to tell the truth? Telling the truth is like building a bridge with your friends. If you lie, they can't believe you.
What's interesting about this is Jehovah's Witnesses like to present this as just nice life lessons that anybody can learn, even non-Jehovah's Witness people, but they slip that Jehovah's Witness stuff in. Just wait. But this is a nice life lesson. Yes, that's right. You should not lie because it's like building a bridge, right? And if you lie, then they don't know if it's a trustworthy bridge or some other thing like that. Just wait until the propagandistic angle comes in.
And they might not want to be your friend.
But, Dad, what if it's not such a big lie?
All lies are bad, even little ones.
I love their absolutist position on this. This is Kantianism, I think, right? There was a philosopher named Kant that had this idea that lying under any circumstances is wrong no matter what, period. Like, say that you're hiding a Jewish person in your house from Nazis and the Nazis come to your door looking for the Jewish person. Lying to that person would be a violation of Kantian absolutism, because if you lied, it could trickle down to a billion other problems. You should just tell the truth in all circumstances, always. Yeah, that's kind of how it was to be a Jehovah's Witness when I was little, except there is one exception to lying. You are allowed to lie as a Jehovah's Witness if it furthers the goal of the Watchtower Society. It's called theocratic warfare. They don't talk about it a whole lot, but it is in their books.
Lie leads to another, and they cause much harm.
See, I'm telling you, man, this is like Kantianism, just straight out of Kant. Fascinating.
Do you remember who told the first lie?
Your mother. Your mother told the first lie. Don't tell me it was Satan. It was not. We're going to go down this road, seems like.
Satan?
Right.
No, it wasn't Satan. It was a serpent. It wasn't anything to do with Satan. Jews didn't have a concept for Satan at the time. Let's take a look at the Bible verse. All right, here it is, Genesis 3. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? Curious! It doesn't say Satan said it. It says the serpent said it, and it was more crafty than any other creature in the garden. As punishment for tricking Eve, which he really didn't do, right? The serpent just told the truth to Eve, that you would gain knowledge of good and evil and everything else. As punishment for doing that, God took the serpent's legs away. I guess it was some kind of, like a gecko or something at first. Then he made it a snake as punishment. It had to crawl in its belly all of its days. Doesn't say anything about Satan. It wasn't Satan that did this. I mean, the book of Genesis is origin literature is what it's called. And it's basically just campfire stories that were told to kids. It wasn't originally believed to be true. Like the Epic of Gilgamesh, for example, the book of Genesis rips straight from the Epic of Gilgamesh, word for word almost. So yeah, I'm sorry, man. This is just nonsense. This is one example of Jehovah's Witnesses working their theology into this video for children. Just about every kid in America has probably heard the story of Satan tricking Eve or the snake tricking Eve or whatever, but this is Jehovah's Witness theology specifically. There are denominations out there that don't think that it was Satan.
Do you remember who told the first lie?
Satan?
Actually, God told the first lie in the Bible, but okay.
Satan?
Right. But what about Jesus? Would he ever lie? Who do you want to be like?
I want to be like Jesus.
Good, my son. So, what happened there?
I broke it. It was an accident. I crashed my plane.
Thank you for telling the truth. Next time something like this happens, what should you do?
I'll tell the truth. And can I tell Mom I'm sorry?
Good idea.
Well, in all fairness, lies do build up to just a massive mess. It's better to just tell the truth about things right out of the gate. I would rather not have to deal with all the lying stuff. Lying nonstop just creates a big domino effect of just massive ridiculousness that it's not worth going through. So that's a fair lesson, but that's the point, isn't it? Jehovah's Witnesses trying to show what they call householders, people who they meet out in service when they're knocking on doors or whatever. They're trying to show them that these are just good life lessons for anybody, and they can show them to their kids, and it'll be harmless. But as you can see, they program in little Jehovah's Witness messages here and there. Next one we got, I guess it doesn't have a title. I just named it Neat and Clean. I don't remember which episode this is, but let's give this a listen. Animation's not bad, right?
What's wrong, Caleb?
It's very different from the last one, though. They've improved their animation style over the years, so.
I can't find my airplane.
I can see why. Do you know what will help you to find your things?
What?
By keeping your room neat and clean.
I mean, these seem like just little things, but every lesson that they're giving you here is a mandate for being a Jehovah's Witness. If your room is not neat and clean, then there's a problem. Now, who's actually going to know about that? Your parents, and that's about it. But they make everything into a religious issue. Your parents will say you're not being a good enough Jehovah's Witness if you're not following all of their expectations to a T. Because being a good kid entails being a good Jehovah's Witness and vice versa. So if your room isn't clean, then it could be a spiritual problem.
Did you know Jehovah has a place for all his things?
Huh?
Like the planets. They're always moving.
Okay, this must be an early one because the animation is actually kind of piss poor in this.
But Jehovah made them stay in their orbits so they don't crash into each other.
No, I think gravity did that, first of all. And second, I find it interesting that he's pointing out ways in which the universe just operates. It doesn't have to have any god like coming in and tweaking things or pushing things or changing anything. It just works. The universe looks as it would if there was no god. You can say that that's because there was a god that set that up. That's fine. I have no issue with that. But it doesn't look like there's a god in this system anywhere.
Same with people. We all look different on the outside. But inside, Jehovah put all their bones and organs in the same place. Imagine if your eyes were on the bottom of your feet.
Well, I'm sure the insides of us look just as different as the outsides. We just don't pay close enough attention to be able to tell because we're not looking at people's insides very often. But all right, I'm with you.
Jehovah even keeps the animals clean. Look at these fish. They are cleaning the hippo.
Again, looks exactly like it would if there was no God in the system anywhere.
These birds help too.
I wish I had some animals to help me clean my room.
So do I sometimes. But that is why Jehovah gave you these, to pick things up with. When you keep your room clean, you are making Jehovah happy.
I guess you're making Jehovah happy. You catching this? When you clean your room, you make Jehovah happy. That's what they just said. Ridiculous. So I guess if hippos had hands with like opposable thumbs, then they would have a dirty room as well that they would have to clean. Okay.
And who knows, once your room is clean, maybe you'll find your airplane.
You know, it really doesn't take that long to clean everything up. I've been overestimating how long it takes. Sometimes it feels like it's going to take an hour and a half to clean everything, but it only takes like 10 minutes to just like make everything look a little bit better. It's a struggle sometimes, though. When you have a job that you're trying to work and it takes, you know, taking care of a kid and everything else, it's hard. Where do you even find 10 minutes, you know?
I found my airplane.
Okay, let's go outside and play.
Oh, they're using Polaroid cameras. Okay. Yeah, anyways, it's just a simple basic life lesson, but you notice they snuck Jehovah in there once again. You make Jehovah happy when you clean. All right, this next one is anti-technology. That's what I labeled it as. Lesson 35, the best use of time.
Whoa, awesome!
This is around the time iPads are getting popular, I guess.
So shiny.
You two are really excited about it.
Well, they had a little Scooby-Doo sound effect in there, huh?
About it.
There are a lot of fun things you can do. And important things too.
Important things. They're showing them studying Jehovah's Witness literature here. Wow.
However, before we let you use it, we need to establish a few rules.
Aww.
Dude, are those just like fake, shiny as it gets apple and pear on their little table there? That's about the shiniest thing I've ever seen.
Aww, rules?
Yes, kids, because too much of a good thing can become a bad thing.
What do you mean?
Oh, this is the first time Caleb's ever heard that before.
A wise man once said, "There is an appointed time for everything." But if you are always looking down at your device, you can lose track of time. Or miss beautiful things happening around you.
Animation in this one is really good, in my opinion.
Your mother and I are going to set time limits for you, and you will always be under our supervision.
See, this is a lesson for the parents, too. Don't ever let your kids anywhere near the internet without supervision. And you would be surprised how hard that is to deal with. I dealt with that when I was little, too. My parents wouldn't let me anywhere near a computer unless my dad was in the room. Of course, I found a way around that, like sneaking into the computer room while they were asleep. And just like, I was just trying to play like video games and stuff, you know. And it came to the point where my dad found out, so he knew that I could just get around anything because I came from a family of programmers, right? He thought about it and realized the only way he's going to be able to stop me from using the computer was to take the modem out of the wall and put it in bed with him and my mom and just put it between them. That's what it took, I guess. Anyways.
5 more minutes, Caleb.
Okay, Mom.
Remember, time is a gift from Jehovah. We should use it wisely.
It's a gift from Jehovah. That means you owe all of that thing to Jehovah, all of your time. But he is giving you a little bit extra as a gift. That's insane, man.
Time is a gift from Jehovah. We should use it wisely. Isn't that right, honey?
That's right. Now smile.
Okay, so there you go. Now you know what Jehovah's Witnesses think about iPads. This is just wild, man. Like I said, Caleb and Sophia is not that abrasive, but when you really examine it and think about the things that they're trying to communicate, you realize that this isn't intended for just anybody. It's intended for Jehovah's Witnesses or kids that you're trying to become Jehovah's Witnesses. So when Jehovah's Witness shows it to a householder's kid, or when your kid shows it to somebody at school or something, it's all part of the indoctrination process. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. This is just cringy and terrible.